Very good afternoon to everyone. I hope everyone is getting energized at the moment because we just had lunch. So I'm Gerald Duia. I run a tour operator called Duia Trailblazers based in Meghalaya. And I'm also General Secretary for both the associations, that is Tour Operators Association of Meghalaya and Tour Guides Association of Meghalaya. So a little bit about the case study that has been set. First of all, I'd like to thank Indian Express for inviting me to present a case study on the challenges and opportunities of Meghalaya tourism. So here, as you can see, Meghalaya is located at the south ridge of the northeastern region, and we have there's a highlight of a red color. And that is the official government logo of Meghalaya, and that is also the official Meghalaya State Highways logo. Here are some facts about Meghalaya. I will not go into details because all of these facts can be downloaded from the internet. And some facts about the tourism in Meghalaya. What are the attractions of Meghalaya tourism? So basically, all of us know that we have the rainiest place on earth, that is Mausanram and Sora. And we also have several caves. We also have the longest cave system. We also have the longest sandstone cave in the world. And we have the bioengineering marvels, that's the living root bridges that are ingenious creations by the forefathers. And we also have the matrilineal society. And we have the three major tribes, that is the Garo, Jantia and the Khasi. And so to say, within these three tribes, we have around 21 sub-tribes. We have various cultural festivals, various commercial festivals as well. So let's talk and discuss a little bit about the challenges and opportunities that Meghalaya has. So first of all, we have the lack of infrastructure. So to say, we have various issues regarding the five-star hotels, where people back in the days they have a lot of problem in their accommodation, but with the government intervention, we have two five-star hotels, and also we have several homestays. But see, looking at it as a challenge is because we're talking about infrastructure from homestays, from restaurants, from amenities, highway amenities, and so on and so forth. We still have a bit of lack. Our destination is based on nature, and that's why it's seasonal. So most people, they come here to look at the monsoon, and some they come here in the dry season to look to experience the caves, to experience the crystal clear waters, and so on and so forth. And we also lack skilled and passionate service provider. So if you're not passionate about the things that you do, we'll basically just end up about doing things without giving quality experience to our guests, to our visitors of the state. And there are several conflicts between communities where, when it comes to tourism, when it comes to revenue, when it comes to commercialization of certain tourist destinations, they always end up, having a fight. So this in turn, it leads to commotion, where certain situations have been imposed section of 144 CRPC also because of the clashes between communities. And there is something about influencers. It's not that I'm against influencers, but the way that they over promote and the way that they market these places, these pristine places, these are also challenges for us tour operators, for us tourism stakeholders, where pristine places have been publicized. It's been displayed on a public platform where they have thousands and thousands of followers. And what ends up is that these places, they're not yet aware about tourism, about how tourism. So people, they start going to these places, and it turns into a garbage dump. We have seen a lot of examples in various nations in the state. And there are also high concentration of tourists in high footfall destinations. So there's no spread across the other destinations, which leads to overcrowding, mass tourism, and so on and so forth. And we also talk about carrying capacity. Back in the days, I think so 3-4 years ago, I wrote an article where I saw one photograph that around 70 to 80 people were jammed in the living root bridge. And so to say, a living root bridge was grown, where around around 20 or 30 people will be commuting in a day. That is the local people. But when tourism comes, when when the footfall rises rapidly, that living root bridge will not have its care because it is basically a natural resource and we have to maintain it and we have to take care of the roads and related maintenance. And talking about the lack of tourism awareness, like I mentioned earlier about the influencers and all, like we still have people in Meghalaya, they talk about tourism, but there's no awareness given to them or there's no awareness that has been brought to their notice. Because when you start a tourism, we don't look at tourism, promoting a destination in one day. We look at sustainability, we look at so many other things that will create a sustainable and a long-term tourist destination. And we have also lack of government. We also lack in implementing the government policies. We have the policy, but so to say, implementation is not at grassroots level, so it's not as per the policy. And just ignore that Sarah law. I made a mistake on that. But basic hygiene and basic and hygienic amenities. So to say, I've visited several dhabas, several hotels and resort. When a tourist, suppose if I'm a tourist going to these places, I need to use the bathroom. But when I go there, I got shouted because I use the bathroom at the hotel. But as per the law, there's a law that was passed during the British law. I don't know if you know it or not. It's called the Sarais Act, 1867. It states that it's a free. It states that it grants free access to public restrooms in hotels and restaurants and so on and so forth. And you can also get free drinking water, and even it should be pet friendly. So these are some of the things that people are not aware. Like the stakeholders themselves, they're not aware. So it creates a bit of a commotion when tourists come to these places. And there's a lack of maintenance of various heritage sites and also lack of safety and security for tourists. In a sense that some tourists, they prefer going to these places, to several places on their own. Whereas what will happen is, or what has happened was, recently there was a rescue operation that has been done by the police in Sora side because two people, they got lost in the jungle because they went on their own. They never availed the services of a guide. And similarly, some cases, previous cases that people got drowned in the water, people they died because all of these things are not, are not taken care of, where they simply don't want to pay much. Simply they don't want to pay another extra fee for the guide. So there is no economic generation. Talking about that, when the state government says 7% of the GDP is from tourism, but honestly, I'm doubtful about this because, so to say, we local tour operators, we local stakeholders in the state, we pay our GST here. But when other tour operators are from outside of the state, they pay their GST in the respective state. So this does not generate revenue in some way or the other to our state, right? So, and then also there's lack of accessibility in certain areas, certain pristine areas, certain locations, and also there's lack of airport connectivity. And we also face lack of waste management, especially in the high footfall tourist destinations, where waste cannot be controlled, and at the end of the day, we don't have places to dispose these waste. And there's also a challenge in the categorization of accommodations. So what happens is some accommodation units are named as homestays, whereas if you go to these places, they're not homestays. There are some places that people have stayed there before, but because of tourism footfall, they rented that space out to tourists, but they don't live there. So that is not a concept of a homestay. And there are also some properties that names themselves as guest houses, resorts, which are not up to the criteria that the government or the ministry have given. And there's also a lack. I've been receiving this point here where people from, especially foreigners, they would prefer to go on a backpacking trip or on a solo trip. They would not want to hire a vehicle, but when they see these vehicles that ferry local passengers from villages to this city, they have a name tag that's called tourist maxi cab. So in fact, a tourist thinks that it is for the tourists, but the fact is that it's not catering the tourists. So these are these are some things that confuse the people traveling here. And also, like I mentioned earlier about the wrong assumptions of the places. So when people don't prefer to take local services of the local stakeholders, what they end up is, they end up creating confused itineraries where when they arrive here, as per the research from their own respective places, as per the research, they will think that this itinerary will work, but at grassroots level, it didn't work. Why? Because they don't know about the timing, they don't know about the duration of the travel, they don't know about the things to do here much more because they don't render the local services of the operators here. And like I mentioned earlier about the incident. So here are some of the facts that I've asked my friends, because we have seen that Meghalaya has come up with various festivals. So here are some of the challenges. I will not read that line, but you can take a picture of it. And there is another challenge by one of the pioneer event management group, and he has mentioned some things about mice as well, that these are also the challenges. I will not read the line because it's quite long and lengthy. You can take a picture as well. And so to say, I've spoken with Dr. Zaman Edi Tomper, and I will just run through a highlight of a few of the findings that he has found during his research. So as you see, like we have a very good data of people, number of tourists that visit Meghalaya. So you can see that the number of more than once visit is quite higher on this data here. And as you can see, the purpose of visits as well, and the source of data about how they know about Meghalaya tourism. So as you can see, like from the internet, there's a huge finding that people knew about Meghalaya from the internet, and also the arrangement of transport done by tourists. So as you can see, most of them, they prefer to do self-bookings. And if we talk about assistance provided by the government to the tourists, it's a no, basically, because I don't think, I mean, like, as per the research findings, it was stated that there are not many government amenities, government-run amenities in the state. And about the Meghalaya Tourism app, most of them also are not aware. So this is also one of the challenges, because the government has produced an app basically for tourists and for stakeholders as well. And the type of vehicle that people prefer to come here, and as you can see there, it's like most of the vehicles are renting tourist taxis from other states, not from Shillong or Meghalaya. And overall satisfaction of the tourists with the road transport, as you can see, there's neutral, most of it is neutral. And the highly visited area, and as you can see, Sora tops the chart there. And the decision on the tourist taxi fares. Most of the taxi fares out here are done by the tourist taxi associations. So it's not a universal thing for that you can take cabs and you can rent the vehicles at your, at the government's rate or something like that. And talking about the duration, we have a high footfall on the as per the destination covered. And the challenge faced by tourist taxi drivers also, there is a lot of challenges within the drivers community for tourists, ferrying tourists as well. And as you can see, the heavy tax by the government creates a lot of challenges for them. And the highest tourist footfall in Meghalaya as per the years. And the inflow of tourists, of Indian and foreign tourists, basically the numbers have doubled. And we talk about opportunities. So I will not go you much more about these slides here. I'll just run through some pictures. Okay. So as you can see, we have diverse natural attractions. We have cultural tourism. We have ecotourism. We have improved infrastructure. Basically, we have two 5-star hotel categories. We need to skill up the service providers. We need to give leverage to digital marketing, and we need to involve the community so that they gain most of our profits. So as you know, Meghalaya is famous for its living root bridges. These are our attractions. Most of the attractions in Meghalaya are natural based. So we have around 80 plus root bridges. We have several double deckers, we have a triple decker root bridge, and many single decker root bridge with various lengths and width. Here are some of the root bridges in the southern ridge of Meghalaya. This is in Maukarnot. It has received It has received a sustainable award in the year, I think so, 2016 or maybe 15. And as you can see, this is the famous living root bridge in Rewai, which is near Maulanam village. This is the same from another angle. That is the double-decker root bridge in Sora, Nongriat. And talking about caves, like Paul earlier, our Honorable Minister of Tourism has mentioned that we are living at the present age, which is called the Meghalayan age. Okay, that dates back 4,200 years ago. So it's a data that has been it's a debate that has been there by the geological experts and the scientists, and they have done a debate and they have concluded that the formation that they have picked up, they have done a research from Krem Maumro, which is Maumro cave, has been dated that it's 4,200 years ago. So here are some beautiful pictures of the caves. We have the fossils there, as you can see, and we have the river caves as well, where around 4 to 5 kilometers of the river runs through the caves. This is the hanging garden chamber that they derived the Meghalayan age from. Here are some of the river caves. And we have culture and heritage, we have the monoliths, the megaliths, we have a lot of history behind these stones, how they are erected. This is at Narkyang village, one of the highest number of monolith cluster. These are some of the colonial heritage sites. This is the first church in Meghalaya. These are some of the festivals. So, talking about festivals, we have three major tribes. We have the Jantia, Garo, and the Khasi. So this is a festival celebrated mainly in the Jantia region, where it's called the Bedingklam. It's celebrated mostly in the month of July. And this is Chapsuk Mansev. It's supposed to happen if you're still here in Meghalaya. It's happening on the 1st and 2nd of November. And this is the main festival in the Garo Hills. It's called the Wangala dance. Okay. This also will happen in November, but I'm not sure about the dates. And these are small community festivals. This is in Kongthong village. As you know, Kongthong is a whistling village that people communicate by using tunes. And also similarly, this is in one of the village in Maulapana that they have the annual cultural fest. This is in Wakhen. In Wakhen, I will tell you, there is a society there that teaches young kids to perform about the music, the traditional music. So they have around 100 kids, 100 students learning about the traditional music. And we have the major commercial festivals. That is the number one is the Shillong Cherry Blossom. We have Hills Festival. We have Megong festivals in the Garo Hills. We have Winter Tales and Autumn Festival. And talking about arts and crafts, we are known for the Eri silk craft. Basically, it's the one of its kind where the people have practiced this traditional practice of extracting silk from eri worms. So the dyeing process for these silk also is done in a very organic manner where they don't use chemicals and other toxic substances, but they use roots of trees, use the barks of the trees, use the haldi, that we call the turmeric, and other ingredients to give colors. And so to say, this is one of the dyeing art that we're trying to revive. It's called Pina weave or Pina culture, where people extract fiber from the pineapple leaves. So actually, when we went there, we found out that they don't extract this from pineapple. They do it from other types of indigenous plants, the native plants that grow in their backyards. And so to say, we have discovered that they also extract fibers from sunflower stems. So this is such a very nice opportunity for us to try and revive this art again. And they weave into bags, into totem bags. That is also of a cultural significance where people have been using that for generations in the traditional weddings. So we have a lot of black clay pottery as well. So the process of making these black clay pottery also is very tiring and very intricate. So we have a lot of food, we have a lot of delicacies from all major tribes and sub-tribes in Meghalaya. I think so most of you know about Chadok, Dokle, Dajam. Yeah. So we have beautiful landscape. This is one of the beautiful aerial view of the Nokalikai Falls, and the other one is of Pepe Falls in the Jantia. And this is on top of the Nokalikai Falls edge. And this is one of the village that has the crystal clear water. I think so. Most of you know Shillong knows Umman River, and so to say, it's the first place that can be done. That scuba diving can be done in the river. Basically, scuba diving is done in the open waters, but this place, the clarity of the water is so clear that can do scuba diving here and explore the marine life inside this river. That is the clarity of the river. I think so. This photograph is viral. Everyone has seen this. Okay, so we have Varichora and the Garu Hills, that is Kindram Falls, and we have many beautiful places. It's Lilo. And also talking about adventures, we have adventures ranging from kayaking, ranging from zip lining, from rappelling, from waterfall rappelling, and now another adventure activity that is coming up in Meghalaya is called canyoning and caving. So these are the two major activities that can be done in Meghalaya. And talking about caving, basically we talk about going into the mountains, scaling heights, but actually we can scale depths as well. So there is a difference between, we need a lot of technicality, a lot of skills, but things like this also can be done. So some of the kayaking, that is some canyoning activity, waterfall rappelling. Thank you.